Wait a second. Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro are going to have a debate. Yo, look at this. Okay, so this started with this guy, the mustache Hitler youth cut guy. Okay, I don't know who he is, but anyways, he was like Ben Shapiro. I hate that guy.
Candace,
yeah,
she's not afraid of nobody. She'll say whatever the
She's
fuck she wants to
smart
say.
She's
She'll
so
debate
strong.
any
Yeah.
single person. She'll go out there and do it. Right? Ben Shapiro is debating college kids.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
He's dating college kids.
Right? It's like anytime he debates somebody who's like worthy, he either gets washed or bare minimum stalemate. I've never seen him actually win a debate against somebody who's like educated in the matter. Candace,
Yeah.
she's not.
I will say this is actually the first and only good point I've heard this guy make, which is that like Ben Shapiro spends his time debating people who are like children, and the people who he talks to who are also educated on the matter with him, like his peers. He usually, it's either like stalemate, nothing much happens, or he gets washed. Yeah, he recently had a debate with like this atheist guy, and he got completely washed. He got completely washed. Even though his whole thing is like debunking talking points, he talks like somebody who's never actually spoken to the side he claims to be against ever. It's kind of funny. Anyways, Candace Owens replied to this and she was like, I would like to debate Ben Shapiro on Israel and the current definition of anti-Semitism. Can anyone make that happen? Dog, this is gonna go crazy. Are you 18? Then it's not happening. Cooked. Unfortunately cooked. Does this mean we're gonna have to go through a lot of the stuff that Candace Owens has said about Israel? Because I don't know her talking points on Israel. I really don't know. I know some of the things she said about Jewish people. I've seen some of that type of stuff, and how that's caused controversy. I know she's super against Israel bombing like ancient Christian holy sites, which I'm very against too. It's one of the big reasons why one of the big reasons why I don't like what Israel's doing. Bombing, like Ben hit back with, sure, Candace, I texted you on February 29th offering this very thing. Let's do it on my show this Monday, 5 p.m. At our studios in Nashville, 90 minutes live streamed. Oh, dude, 90 minutes live stream, no edits, huh? Ooh, but I'd want a third party if I was Candace. I'm sure you can appreciate why I'd prefer to keep things off the Daily Wire platform, as well as the true reason why we were never able to make any discussion happen. Let's choose a neutral, trustworthy platform. I vote for Patrick Bet Davis. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. This conservative guy. Why not Rogan? Okay, all right, guy. Dude, I think you would have like hit up somebody who knows a little something about what's going on. But Candace, I can see why you want to hide behind a moderator. Who was this guy, Vosh? Particularly one who said we should rename our company to the Daily Jewish Wire just yesterday. Oh, my bad. I thought Patrick David was way more like pro-Israel. Is he not? Or is he? Ooh, actually, that may have changed. Like, a lot of conservatives have become really anti-Daily Wire and really, really anti-Semitic. They've been pumping a lot of anti-Semitic conspiracy theories recently after Candace Owens was fired from the Daily Wire, specifically because they think that her pro-Christian anti-Israel speech led her to be sacked by the Jews who run the Daily Wire, and the Jews canceled her, as them Jews do. So that's why a lot of them have come out. Yeah, the Jews. Yeah, a lot of them have come out about how the Daily Wire is Jewish run, Jewish run, controlled opposition to real conservative movements. Yeah, a lot of them hate Ben Shapiro for being Jewish. And apparently for banning Candace Owens from the Daily Wire, even though he's not even in an executive position anymore on the Daily Wire. But I think you'd have to be a little stupid to think that him like poking at Jeremy Boring didn't help the decision move along a little bit. He called it the a Daily Jewish Wire just yesterday. No, one-on-one Monday 5 p.m. We can sit down and have a healthy debate like adults, and we'll live stream it on X and YouTube. Take it or leave it. As the true reason you didn't respond to my offer to sit down with you and discuss these issues publicly or privately back in February, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about, lady. Oh man. So she wants a moderator. She wants a mod. She definitely wants a mod. Okay. So I let's see. Is it good to have a listen? Maybe not a mod. Maybe you can go like kind of like in the middle and not have a moderator, but also not in like the Daily Wire studios, you know? So maybe like there's like you're in a neutral area, right? And it's actually just Ben and Candace, like actually unironically just Ben and Candace, and then you just hit record, and then you just start going. If this is the case, why don't you just like hit each other up on Discord right now? I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like let's just be normal. Load up Discord, bum ass. You guys have Discord. You know what Discord is, don't you? Just load up Discord and both of you start streaming right now. You know how to stream, don't you? I hope this happens. This would be so funny. I will also throw in Rogan as an option. What about your buddy Lex Friedman? I'll choose to be understanding. Oh, sorry. Let me go back to this. I'm not hiding behind a moderator. Lol. I'm just choosing not to bring eyes to the Daily Wire. You are rather typically removing PBD's words from its proper context to make it seem as though he basically attacked you. It doesn't matter what like you baselessly or non-baseless, like if it's like baseful or baseless attacks. Calling it the Daily Jewish Wire. I mean, come on, let's not be stupid here, okay? Like you know what they're implying. Like come on. I know it may be hard, but let's try not to be stupid. Destiny should moderate. So, no, Destiny's like super. No, Destiny's like way closer to Ben Shapiro's. But Destiny's way closer to Ben Shapiro than he is to Candace Owens on this particular issue. It's Sabbath, but I think Ben was clear. One-on-one, in person, Nashville, Monday, 5 p.m. live stream, X and YouTube. What are you, his boyfriend? Calm down. What the hell? Look at this. He's like, don't you touch my mans. The ad, there will be no ads running or charge to watch it. No one cashes in. Well, if it's on your YouTube, then you cash in, right? Unless you're just gonna pinky promise to demonetize it. Oh, Destiny's coming up. You debated Destiny on his show without a moderator less than a month ago, and you have debated plenty of people without moderator on your own show. You asked for a debate. You want one? Here, you can have it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna agree with a little bit with Jeremy Boring here. Like, maybe on a separate channel, or you both live stream it. Like, let's say both of you live stream it. Okay, both of you live stream the debate. No moderator. Okay, and then fine. Then fine. Sure. Then fine. Then I don't think there's any reason for her to disagree besides her just being super petty. And it's gonna look bad on her if she backs out of that. Oh nah, dude, is she gonna back out? Wait a second, she might back out of this one. She's yapping. She's using every single character Elon Musk gave her with the Twitter blue. I cannot laugh hard enough at Ben Shapiro's obvious. I'll only do it on the Daily Wire, 5 p.m. EST. Monday or nothing at all stunt. This dude literally got on a plane to go debate Destiny, the streamer. Dude, Destiny's getting his name dropped a lot here. As moderated by Lex Friedman 2 months ago. That was 2 months ago, really? Stop making a show of it, Ben. Man up. He did get on a plane to debate a video game streamer. So that's kind of, I ain't gonna lie, it's a little bit of an L for him to not take this one, to be angry about that. So to be angry about like going somewhere else to have a debate. I'm gonna be honest, like this would probably be a bigger debate than him and Destiny, like 100%. It just happened like in a great time for him because he debated both of these two very quick, very soon after they left. So very soon after, I can't speak apparently. He debated both of these two right before they had a falling out. So obviously his name would be brought up. They talked about how it's Sabbath. You know, I'm in London and cannot appear in person. You have known 2 months I was going to London this week. She's in London right now? Oh no, dude. She's gonna try and like destroy she couldn't destroy the American black population, so now she's gonna destroy the British black population. Is that her plan? Daily Wire employees were initially slated to go here with me, so publicly pretending that you guys are not aware of this. Oh, so she's like, I can certainly swing this virtually on Monday. Okay. Wait. When was she planning this? If she's like, oh, I'm in London right now. Well, she didn't give a date, so she's just like, whenever. But I'll choose to be understanding regarding your exhaustive sensitivities to everyone. It sounds like they're both trying to creep out. It sounds like they both like are squaring up, but the squares are made out of like construction paper, you know? They are not solid steel, stainless steel, diamond cut squares. They're flimsy paper squares. I think both of them don't want to do it. I think both of them like the posturing, and both of them want a reason to not actually do it. That's what it seems like to me. Hold me back. Wait, hold. I just told you to hold me back, didn't you? Didn't I? What the fuck? Grab here. Hold me back. Thank you. And you why once I get my hands on you? I don't know your international travel schedule, Candace. I know when you wanted to talk to somebody in the past, you've flown across the world to make it happen. You asked for a debate, Ben agreed to a debate. She flew across the world to make a debate happen. Don't want a DW crew? Fine, we'll hire a local crew. Barring the odd insinuation that you didn't know your own employees were booked on an international flight to come join me in London to film on your platform this is great. I fully accept. No moderator. I will get in touch privately to get this set up. Major win. Okay, wait, like, what? Wow, wait, is Jeremy speaking through Ben Shapiro? What is Ben Shapiro like speaking through Jeremy Boring here? Like, you want to do a Monday? Fine, let us know how long you need to prepare. I'm gonna be really honest with you. Candace Owens might get washed. I'm gonna be so honest with you. Candace Owens might get completely fucking cooked here. All right. Like from just a 100% just like factual and like how much stuff you know. For anybody who plays any fighting games, what's going to happen is that Ben Shapiro is going to just throw out a bunch of knowledge checks. Okay, basically he knows a bunch of moves that almost nobody knows, and he's just gonna keep throwing them out until like an hour and a half has lapsed, and then get a bunch of sound bites about how she's like, I don't know that. It's not about that. It's about like this and that, and he's gonna like try and pull her back and about like the knowledge checks and just do knowledge check after knowledge check after knowledge check about that. Well, did you know about the Palestinian leader from 1954 and what he said about to the Jewish congregation of Israel? And he's like, oh, what the hell? what are you talking about? And that's what all this is gonna be like. Okay, she's gonna be like, what's the Golan Heights? Right, and that's just how it's gonna be. You know, there's just too much stuff to know to have this type of debate with like an Israel file, like Ben Shapiro, who has like a doctorate in studying Israel through the Israeli version through the Fire Nation's version of events about what happened to the Air Nation. But yeah, she might get completely washed. I'm gonna be honest with you, if she gets washed, it might be even funnier because you know they're all gonna double triple down on Ben Shapiro using sneaky Jewish tactics to like to own her or something. You know that shit gonna happen. It's gonna be crazy, man. It doesn't help that she's very stupid. Yeah, that's not gonna be good. The fact that she is actually very stupid. Oh, that's not gonna. This will not end well, but it will be funny. Wow, it's finally happening. I'm more scared than laughing. All I know is that this is going to lead, and it's already led to one of the biggest and like most devastating Nazi outbreaks on Twitter I've ever seen. It's so bad. It's so bad. Like a lot of you guys, I talked about it like last time you all saw me, but they had like a Nazi powwow where Jeremy Boring spoke to a bunch of groypers and even Nick Fuentes himself, and he said that he was one of the most talented speakers this side of the Mississippi. Yeah, like he gave Nick Fuentes his flowers because he didn't want to look bad in front of like all the other conservatives who thinks he's like the coolest guy who just speaks his mind. Even more than usual. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Oh yeah. 100. Oh yes. Yes. 100%. These guys have been crazy recently. They've been crazy recent, especially since like after Candace Owens got fired. Oh yeah. They've been on a tear. They've absolutely been on a tear. But I did want to spend a little time watching some of this, just like a little bit of it, because I want to see. We have to check this out now, because I have to know what in the world she said and what she believes about any of this stuff, because I haven't heard her really talk about it. Defining anti-Semitism, diving into the article. Rabbi Barclay wrote that I said Hitler was okay. Nah. Discussing when I condemned Hamas on Tucker Carlson. Rabbi Shmuley. How many rabbis has she had like beef with? Wait a second. This is a rabbi. Like there was another rabbi who wrote about her. She had beef with another. How do you have beef with so many rabbis? Do definitions mutate? What does uniquely evil mean? Do Jews control Hollywood? When you're anti-Semitic, you got a lot of beef with rabbis. But let's take a little look here.
Could you provide for us a definition of anti-Semitism?
Absolutely. I really appreciate it.
Yankee with no brim. I'm sorry.
I think that is the break. If we're not speaking the same language, where can we go? Right. So there's a man, of blessed memory, man named Lord Jonathan Sachs, who was chief rabbi of England. He had a great line. He really defined anti-Semitism. That anti-Semitism is Jews have no right to exist collectively as Jews with the same rights as other human beings. It's kind of weird statements. So let's just track back a bit to understand the history of anti-Semitism. 2,000 years ago, Jews don't accept Jesus as Messiah. For people who do not have Sachs, who was the chief rabbi of England, he had a great line. He really defined anti-Semitism. That anti-Semitism is Jews have no right to exist collectively as Jews with the same rights as other human beings.
No right to live collectively as Jews, the same as other human beings. What does that mean? Okay, what does that mean collectively, right? Because that's a really strange definition, because it's way different than a lot of other definitions of bigotry that usually just means the attitudes towards these groups of people as a group, right? As a you judging them as a collective. But this definition is about how those people should be able to be a collective and then act in accord and then act in certain ways. And then you disagreeing with some of that. That's a very tricky definition, and I feel like it could be dangerous when how it's used.
Just kind of weird statements. Let's just track back a bit to understand the history of anti-Semitism. 2,000 years ago, Jews don't accept Jesus as Messiah.
Nah, these people criticize Palestinian activists by going back 60 years ago. Bro's going back 2000. Nah, man.
For people who do not have faith, as the early Christians, as some of them have faith, some of them accept Jesus, but they don't really in their heart. And you and I both know people like Rob McCoy who accepts it fully in their heart, and other people who are doing it without faith. And those who have less faith, the fact that the Jew exists, let alone thrives, is a threat to their faith. Because how can the Jew not accept Jesus as God and still thrive? Unless he's associated with the devil. So you start having these myths that are created of the Jew being identified with the opposite of God. This really codifies in 1144 in Norwich, England, what's called the blood libel. This is really important to understand, especially today in 2024. In 1144, a young boy is killed, and the local priest says that's because the Jews need to make their matzah with Christian blood. It's called the blood libel. It's blame the problems of other people on the Jew. Let's just that's because the Jews need to make their matzah with Christian blood. The local priest says that's because the Jews need to, before a young boy is killed, and the local priest says that's because the Jews need to make their matzah with Christian blood. It's called the blood libel. It's blame the problems of other people on the Jew. Let's just that's so ridiculous, not only just on its face, but we're forbidden from even having meat that has any blood in it. This is a Torah law. You can't have. That's why we can't have steak tartar. Okay, so this gets perpetuated in combination with a 4th century, what's called the Vulgate.
I'm sorry, did you say 1140 this happened?
1144 in Norwich, England.
Okay.
11. Bro's going back to 1144. Oh, okay. All right, man.
This is after in the 4th century, you have something called the Vulgate. The Vulgate is the official translation of the Bible. In Hebrew, there's no vowels. And the person who translates the Vulgate knows what he's doing is translating wrong. He puts down that when Moses comes down from Mount Sinai, he has horns. Okay, Karen. When actually the word was karan, meaning that light shone from his head. So now by 1144, you have the anti-Semitic myth of Jews have horns and they drink blood. And I know people who've been asked when they went into the army and other places, can I see your horns? So this still exists today in 2024 throughout America. And I don't mean just in little rural areas. It exists today, these myths. That Vulgate Bible is the official Catholic Bible all the way through the 1970s. So it is, you need to understand that that's a piece of it, okay? That they're equated with this kind of hate. Because it's about Jews not having the right to exist collectively, when they live in their little communities in the Middle Ages, anti-Semitism is a hate against their religion. By the time you get to the 18th and 20th centuries, when so many Jews have assimilated, they are in culture, they are in arts, they're in science, it's no longer against them for their religion, it's against them for their race. Because anti-Semitism is the oldest hate in the world, and the hate that mutates. In 1948, because remember, it says Lord.
The oldest hate in the world? Misogyny? What? All right, buddy. All right, buddy.
Oh, I just want to pause it. You said it's a hate that mutates.
Correct.
So your belief then is that the definition of anti-Semitism can necessarily change. Is that correct?
It's not just my belief. It is the commonly accepted understanding in both the Jewish and academic worlds.
Okay.
This isn't, okay. As I said, that's why I quoted, this is a quote. It's a great thing from Lord Sachs, Jonathan Sachs. It's a great thing from Nihilectus. This is just accepted as the understanding of, a cultural
anthropologist. So I would just say off the bat, I do not accept that definitions can just mutate. That is something that I could debate that on, like the definition of a woman. I mean, I'm saying not just about Jewish people. I think that we have to have a concrete definition to work with, because then you can just update and say, actually, I've changed that, and now this is what constitutes anti-Semitism.
Yeah, I mean, that's the type of belief that a conservative has to have, specifically to, and she brought up the trans thing because they always have trans people on their mind. They specifically want to shoot that down, like the idea that definitions change, because if they agree with that, then they have to agree that they're wrong about trans people. And so they see that, and trans people are wrapped up into every part of their worldview these days. So it's really, so they can't give up that very fundamental idea about the idea that definitions change. I mean, this girl is a definition that changed. Girls used to mean just young children, like male or female. It's not the same anymore. You call a young boy a girl, their parents are probably going to get mad. Hi, Shark. Hey, Bestie. Hey, Stim.
But Candace, that is the horror of anti-Semitism. So what you are saying to me is that anti-Semitism is this and does not change. What I'm saying to you is that the entire world and scholars about anti-Semitism recognize that it is a unique hate. That if you define it as that Jews should not be able to exist collectively, okay, as a collective, they shouldn't have that right. That changes from the Middle Ages with religion, the 18th through 20th centuries about race, and then after Israel's created, it's a hatred based on the nation. And until that is understood,
wait.
And then after the 18th through 20th centuries about race, and then as a collective, they shouldn't have that right collectively.
Oh, I see what he's doing here. I see it. When I heard this definition, I was like, that could be used in bad ways. I see it now.
That if you define it as that Jews should not be able to exist collectively, okay, as a collective, they shouldn't have that right. That changes from the Middle Ages with religion, the 18th through 20th centuries about race, and then after Israel's created, it's a hatred based on the nation.
So here's why he likes this definition. It's because it can be used for basically everything. Okay, it can be used for basically everything. So he wraps it back to like the religion. Okay, Jewish people cannot engage collectively. So he's like, oh, they were mean to Jewish people back in the day for practicing their religion. And then they were mean to Jewish people because of their genetic connectivity, and they're discriminatory towards them as a group. And so he's like, yes, it was the groups that made them really mad. And what is Israel? It's just another group of Jewish people. So it's basically the same thing as when we got stoned to death back in 571, right? It's just like that. So it's just anti-Semitism again for you to dislike Israel for any way, because you're just doing the new version of anti-Semitism, which is, what do you mean I couldn't bomb that? What do you mean I couldn't drop a hellfire bomb on a crowded building? What do you hate? Well, we can't exist as a collective. We can't bomb people as a collective now. What are you, anti-Semitic? And that is his definition of anti-Semitism, of like the group thing of like Jewish people. But this is kind of weird, because what if you just hate? Well, what if somebody just hates one Like, what if somebody just hates Jewish people together? They don't really care about whether they're together or alone. They just hate them, right? Is that anti-Semitism? And if that's so, then that definition that he has does not comport with the idea of anti-Semitism. What if there's a Nazi who thinks that it's not feasible to kill all Jewish people, so just push them into Israel, like push them all like into Israel, out somewhere else? Sorry, out of their country and into somewhere else, right? Is that technically anti-Semitism because they support them existing in a group just like over there, right? Like I'm not sure if that would really work.
And until that's understood, that it is, this isn't something that's really questioned about among academics, theologians, Jewish scholars. I'm not presenting it. This is why I thought I'm so optimistic about a dialogue. But I think part of it is you view that the hate can't mutate. And what I'm trying to tell you is that we have 2,000 years of history that demonstrate the exact opposite.
So, and I'm going to just push back just gently here. For me personally, if I thought that racism could just be an ever-shifting definition based on the experience of Black people, it would be a remarkable power, and I would be able to create something like BLM, which could say that everything is racist. So I am not going to be able to agree that definition should be able to transform according to what's happening during the day. But here's what I will say. If you could, just because I think it's really important for us to get to going through this article, because then you might be able to explain why you view it as anti-Semitism. If you could just give us what you are saying the current definition of anti-Semitism is today, that would be very helpful.
The current definition of anti-Semitism today has to do with what the feelings are. It has to do with anti-Zionism, number one. That is a definition. Anti-Zionism, anti-Israel is anti-Semitism.
Okay, there we go.
So you believe that Jewish people can be anti-Semitic?
Absolutely.
Okay, so when you see a gathering of Jewish people who say, I'm Jewish, but I don't support Israel or Bibi Netanyahu, you say that person can be anti-Semitic. You just did two different things, and was very. You just did two different things that were totally unrelated, Candace. Okay.
You said the Jews that do not support Israel.
Yes.
And the Jews that do not support Bibi Netanyahu.
I'm just saying that because he's the current prime minister. So I'm saying like if they say they don't support.
No. This is where you're missing the point. So I'm going to go under the following premise. Okay. I'm going to go under the premise that you care about people. You and I don't know each other, but I'm going to go under that premise. I'm going to go into the premise that you have no desire to ever hurt anyone. Okay. That's the premise I'm coming into this dialogue with. You have been devastatingly hurtful. And I think that I'm going to go from there. You don't understand what it means to the Jewish world. There's a great teaching that comes out of.
Okay, I got to skip some of this.
I'm not trying to. I don't think I said anything about me having a right. I just said to you, would you then view, because I did host somebody who was Jewish, Dave Smith, on my show, and I'm sure you're familiar with him. He's a comedian, he's libertarian. He is not pro-Zionist. So I'm just asking you for clarity, because you're saying that you can't dismiss a Jewish person, but aren't you thereby dismissing Jewish people who say that I don't support Israel as a state? I'm just trying to have you answer that question.
I will ask you about the same question. Are there Blacks who do not support Blacks? Are there pick the
Blacks
cause or the minority who do not support or actually even better? You and I both sit on the conservative side politically. We share that, right? And we face the same way when it comes to that. And we both, I think, are disappointed in those who are Republicans in name only, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Does that mean they're not Republicans?
Well, I wouldn't describe a race as a political ideology, like a political party. That's very different. So to say that you can't be a race, like you're not Black if you don't support this, is different than, like, you're basically saying that a Jewish person can be anti-Semitic. So that would be like saying a Black person can, in fact, be racist towards, or they're not Black.
I'm not going to comment on Black community. I will say there are plenty of self-hating Jews.
Okay, so you do believe, that's all I'm trying to get you to say, is that Jewish people who don't support Israel, you are saying they are anti-Semitic. I just want to understand that.
I'm saying it very clearly, they are self-hating Jews. Let's use that term very specifically. Okay. And you need to understand why they are self-hating Jews. And you need to understand, as numerous people have talked about, I've written about, Rager's talked about, Gorka's talked about, Levin's talked about, a number of people have talked about, Shapiro's talked about, and as I say, I've written about, is that people want to assimilate. For 2,000 years, Jews have been persecuted, and so they want to assimilate. And so many have converted from Judaism not to another religion, but to leftist politics. That becomes their religion.
Oh, yikes, man. Oh, it's like a debate between the worst people you know. Oh, yikes. What the fuck? Because, yeah, that's like something that these people actually believe. Like, oh, leftism is the real religion that these people say. Shut the fuck up, dog. Just because people believe something different than you doesn't make it a religion. I don't think they're self-hating. So remember, I think they're just anti-murder. No. Remember. His definition of anti-Semitism is Jewish people being able to basically do whatever they want in a group. Okay, sorry. His version of anti-Semitism is being against Jewish people doing basically whatever they want in a group. Okay, so if there's Jewish people in a group and they're doing whatever they want, if you're against them doing whatever they want, you are anti-Semitic. Okay, so if you are against any grouping of Jewish people doing basically anything, you are now anti-Semitic, right? And the identity of Jewish people to him is Jewish people being able to do whatever they want in groups. If you are against that, that means you hate yourself, because that group setting is yourself. Okay, so it makes sense from his opinion. His just opinion is garbage. His opinion is rancid dog shit. Yeah, it's very bad. It is a very, very bad definition. One moment. Actually, nah, it's okay. Sorry, 1 second. Doo Garbo Poo Poo Dookie. Including big old genocide. Yeah, I mean, like, as long as he agrees with the killing, they can kill as many people as they want in working in a group, because this is just what they want to do. And if they don't, and if you disagree, then you're anti-Semitic. That's just his definition of anti-Semitism. I think it's a really bad definition, but that's his definition.
And they lose their identity. That is a reality. So you need to understand, or I shouldn't say you need to, that's not fair, and I apologize. I hope.
See, he's like, you lose your identity, right? If you're against Israel, you lose your identity, because Israel is a Jewish identity. It's more of an entity. To him, Israel is a metaphysical. Israel is a physical representation of like the Jewish spirit. It is like Jewish essence personified, brought out of the metaphysical world and into the physical world, and given borders. And so to him, every single tongue raised against Israel, or like anything that jeopardizes those borders, is jeopardizing the very essence of what his identity is. Him as a human being, not only his religion, his essence, his soul, his very existence in the world is threatened by anything that threatens Israel's borders, or Israel's place on the world stage, or like Israelis being able to do basically whatever they want. Okay, so by this logic, you can do basically anything to those people, because anything that any motion that they take against it is a very clear attack against the very essence of the Jewish soul, of like the collective Jewish soul, right? Imagine a giant menorah in the sky, like a metaphysical giant menorah, and from the menorah drips little soul fragments that turn into Jews in the real world, and its vessel, the giant spiritual menorah, its vessel is Israel, the country. That's his idea of what Israel is. It's very, very strange. A bit of Jew essence.
Hope that you understand
that face, me when I'm in Israel.
A history and an understanding that we define what anti-Semitism is. And what happened on October 7th, and I wrote an article about you in November. I don't know if you read it or not. I was told you had, but I don't know if you did or not.
I did not.
Okay. I wish you had.
I did not read that shit.
We might be in a very different place.
You could have emailed it to her.
This is November. And
okay, go ahead. I'm going to say I want to talk about that. You put that in this article, which was published just last week.
So I wrote a very specific article, and you can find it right now. And it was an in-personal invitation to you and for you, that despite everything else I have read or seen or heard, that my belief and my hope is that your comment of wanting to have an academic discussion about October 7th came from a place of not really realizing what October 7th was. October 7th is unique in recorded human history as the ugliest day of humanity.
All right, you're huffing your own farts a little bit here. Okay, I can see why this debate went so poorly for him. Okay, so in his mind, Jewish people are a unique species, like a unique breed, they're built different. Okay, they're a unique breed of people. Things that happen to them are uniquely evil. Things that they do are, I guess, uniquely good, right? Because they work as like a collect. They're like a, I guess it's kind of like a hive mind. the way he describes it actually is horrible, but the worst. Yeah, like it makes sense from his opinion. It makes sense from how he for how I've seen his worldview go, that like Jewish people, he believes Jewish people are the worst treated people in not even record in human history. They're the worst treated people in human history. Okay, worse than every other group of people for as long as time immemorial. Okay, and the things that happen to them are the worst things to ever happen in society. I'm gonna be honest with you, like 1,200 people dying, right, and like 200 of them being soldiers. I don't think that's the worst day in human history. Is it very bad? Yes. Is it tragic? Yeah. Is it a terrorist attack? Yeah. Worst day in human history? Do you know how many bad days have been in human history? What? He thinks Jewish people are the biggest victims. It's so crazy because he's saying things that like the most anti-Semitic people I've ever heard in my entire life say that your average Jewish person believes. And we all know that your average Jewish person does not believe anything near what this guy does. Nowhere near what this guy does. But yeah, like this is crazy. He deleted the Holocaust randomly. Well, I think he says that because like there's no Holocaust Day. Right? Like the Holocaust didn't happen in a day. It happened over the course of like a couple years. Right. So he would be like October 7th is the worst day, the worst individual day in human history. There is no day in human history. We're just deleted the Holocaust. No, sure. I mean, like the Holocaust didn't happen in a day. It just didn't. It just fact. Unless I'm wrong, unless I'm bad on my like Holocaust history, but the Holocaust did not happen in a singular day. You can argue like, oh, like Kristallnacht. Did more? I don't think more people died in like Kristallnacht, the Night of Long Knives. I don't think even that happened, right? It's just weird. Yeah, it's super weird. I do not believe that this is the worst day in human history. No. 1,200 didn't die on Kristallnacht though? Yeah. The worst day that's such a bold claim. The worst day in human history. Wow. All right, buddy.
What was done on October 7th? Taking a young woman, taking her phone to videotape her being raped on the corpse of her dead boyfriend and then shot on it and sending that video to her parents. Beheading a man with a garden hoe, kicking a woman until her body parts fall is unique in terms of the intention to attack civilians. And so in November, after you made the comment on Tucker Carlson about wanting an academic discussion about how, those kind of comments that you made
in Tulsa massacre, someone's blinking. Is he rebooting? I don't know. I do not know what he's up to. Okay. All right. I don't know. I'm just still taken aback by him claiming it's the worst day in human history.
On way that you demonstrate. I wrote an article saying that I would arrange for you. There's a film, 47-minute film by the IDF. It is all the footage done by the Hamas terrorists of what they were doing so proudly, what they wanted to do. And that my belief was, I don't think that you quite realize that. And I would arrange for a private screening for you and your friends. Mm-hmm. And that I would arrange that and then have the discussion about how you feel about October 7th.
Okay, so I just really would like to get to your article because I think it's important. I want to acknowledge your pain about October 7th.
That's not an opinion. That's not an opinion.
No, I didn't say opinion. I said I want to acknowledge your pain about
I apologize.
October 7th.
I apologize.
I didn't say that. I said I want to acknowledge your pain about October 7th, and I want to get to that because you are... you're mischaracterizing what I said on Tucker Carlson, but I do have the clip, and we're going to be able to watch it. I definitely did not say I wanted to have an...
Okay. Definitions mutate. Apparently they don't talk about too much. What does uniquely evil mean?
You didn't ask it. I'm ready to answer it. I think it was evil. And, if you feel it's uniquely, we bombed a million Iraqi civilians. You're talking about just like if you're weighing against civilian costs. And again, I think how you said about when you read you watch the Passion of the Christ and you have, your eyes when you watch it and I have my Christian eyes. Very difficult for me to say when the greatest Holocaust that ever happened was against Christians and what the Bolsheviks did to us, drowning us in barges. I cannot discount the things that have happened to Christians. We are actually the most persecuted religion in the world, and it's never described as uniquely.
Everybody's the biggest victims ever. Wait, oh my gosh. Everybody's the biggest victim, man. Okay, so he's Jewish, and Jewish people are the most persecuted class of people to ever exist. She's Christian. Christians are the most persecuted class to ever exist. Everybody's the biggest victim. It's not even like we've been victim. It's we're the biggest victims in human history. Nobody has suffered more than me. They must know my pain. The blood of my brothers run through my veins. Dog, calm down. I'm begging you to calm down. I promise you we can find a group of people who have suffered the same as much as people who you claim to be the same as. I promise you. It's actually you're so right. They're in the Oppression Olympics. She's doing the 500 the 100-meter sprint in the Oppression Olympics. He's doing the hurdles in the Oppression Olympics. Who's gonna pick up discus in the Oppression Olympics? The most everybody is the most persecuted class of people to ever exist. Ever. It's so hyperbolic. And they criticize like leftists and like leftists and minorities for having the victim complex. Both of these people not only believe that like people like them have been victims, the most victimized people to ever exist. It's just, I feel like some people aren't like understanding how crazy that statement is, how much people have suffered. The most ever, period. No debate, ever. Nobody has suffered more than me. That's such a crazy statement. They don't want to lose their oppression crown. That's true. How sick can you be to push down so many other people who've suffered so much because you want to feel special? You can't even criticize left-wing people by trying to say that, oh, don't you think the same? No, people have suffered just as much, if not more, than people like me. I don't know who suffered the most. I've never even had the idea of thinking about what group of people have suffered the most. We have no clue. We have no clue. Okay, none, because most of that suffering was not recorded. Those people that suffered that much, the people who caused their suffering didn't leave all the trails behind to be able for you to pick apart how bad they suffered. They're just erased. They're gone. Memory hold in the dust of time. So you to sit here and say so confidently with your whole chest that both of you are the most like oppressed people to ever exist, to ever be born on planet Earth is so cowardly. It's so nasty. It's so gross. I don't know. It just makes me sick. They're sick people. And they dare have the audacity to talk about how left-wing people have a victim complex or victim mentality. Dog, fuck you.
Evil. And so what happened October 7th is evil. Full stop. What has happened in the past to Christians, what is happening currently to Christians in Armenia, it's evil. So your feeling that it's unique is probably, I want to recognize it, but I don't want to sit here and pretend that I minimize what I've been through. I mean, unique evil, slavery. I'm a black woman.
Whoa. Minimize what was she about to say what I've been through? Bitch, were you at Constantinople? What are you talking about? I'm gonna be sick. Were you driven out of ancient Rome? What are you talking about? What? What I've been through. All right. Minimize what have you suffered something worse than October 7th or like the Tulsa massacre? What? What is happening? I've never seen a victim complex so big in my life. It's huge. I can see it from outer space. The ISS is flying by. They're taking pictures.
I would make a simpler question.
Minimize what I've been through. I mean, unique evils, slavery. I'm a black woman. I mean, there's tons of things that have happened, and I don't want to pretend that I think that when it happens to Jews, it's somehow more evil or more unique than when it happens to other groups all around the world.
I'm going to ask you a specific, simpler question. Do you believe there is a qualitative difference between what was done on October 7th and the horrible tragedies that are going on in Gaza, with children being used as human shields and dying and being killed? With all of that.
Yeah, human shields is when they're just like walking down the street and then get blown up by a hellfire missile. Yeah, human shields, I guess. Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. Okay, I can't watch any more of this. I think I might actually throw up, and me and the GF are about to cook. So thank you all for watching today. It was a fun stream. We have to pick up some more. Holy crap! I actually have to watch this. So we actually have to go through this. This is wild. I might fall. I don't know, man. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I could do this one, man.